Welcome to another session with Trading with Stanman. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the importance and basic understanding of trading and understanding price movement on charts. Getting a visual to see how a stock moves is critical to your success in trading in any strategy that you use in the market. So today, what I want to accomplish is nothing advanced or fancy. Even for myself, I don't do a lot of advanced stuff with charts. I just use them as a way to look at data different ways to make decisions for my strategies that I like to use for trading. So I'm gonna dive into a little bit of it and see if I can show you just a few basics of how to do things. Okay. So what you see on the screen is a real basic workspace that you get when you open Thinkorswim. I haven't changed anything. I put it back to defaults to kind of show you guys where to start. And Thinkorswim is an amazing software. It's just got a lot that you can do in the platform. So the best way that I learned and understood is to kind of break it down to smaller chunks of what you're trying to do. All right. So if you look here, this is the main bar. And when you get into like charting, all you got to do is like look here, go to monitor, trade, analyze, scan, market watch. But charts, this is the one you want. So you click on chart, you get this chart screen. Okay. And once you come here, you got to decide what stock ETF that you want to trade, future, whatever. So you put a symbol in. So let's say I do SPY. You see, you get them come up here, and I click on enter, and you see SPY comes out. So this is the real basic one. There's no fancy indicators on here. They do for free give you the volume, so you can see for every period of time, you can see how much volume was on whatever the stock is at the time. But there's no changes, no tweaks, no modifications on this chart. And so what you're looking at, a couple things to understand is, and let me see if I can zoom in some, so what I'm doing to zoom in, I'm holding control and I'm rolling my mouse wheel and it zooms in. So control mouse wheel, I'm zooming in on the chart just so you can see. And so just a few things to get comfortable with navigation. If you say your icon changes over this is called the price, or the vertical is price action. So these are the price lines. And if you notice, when I move my mouse around here, that crosshair you see is showing you, like if you look far to the right, you see it highlights the price that I'm over. And then if you look at the very bottom, it shows the day that I'm over. Now, where is this figuring it out at? It's about the type of chart you're looking at. And right now, if you look at this upper corner, it shows you what symbol you're looking at. These next two numbers are real important, okay? The first number is the amount of time that's on your screen. So this is the yearly view of SPY. The second number represents how much data is per candle. Now, there's a lot of different views of charting data. There's different styles. You can look at the candle view. You got the candle views, which is the default. You use the bar view. This is the bar view, right? You can look at the line view. So it gets rid of all the noise. You just see a line of what things are doing, right? And then you got the one that's the most popular, which is candles. Now, on the candle view, these candles look different ways because you got the body, the wick, the body of the candle. You got green versus red. You got how long they are, and then you got like hammers and dojis. You'll hear all these fancy patterns of what candles make up. And to be honest with you, I haven't learned any of the patterns. There's a whole book, videos, several hours long on there's patterns. Apparently there's patterns right here on my screen. I just don't see them. The one thing that stands out to me is this thing was a green day. This is a red day, or a red week, or a red 5 minutes, right? And that's all I kind of gravitate to when I'm looking at it. But there is patterns here, like dojis and hammers and upside down wicks, and like I said, you can choose to study the technique of interpreting this and making decisions. Like there's people who just make decisions off the patterns, but I can't really speak to it. But I will say the candle makes it more obvious to me, like if this period of time was an overall, a down or upward momentum. So I do like that. Okay, so that's all I really use the candle stuff for now. That could change later, but for now, that's all I use it for. But like I said, there's no indicators on here. But get comfortable with understanding what you see. So let's go back up here. So we got the symbol. We got the amount of data you're seeing on the chart, which overall is like a year. It's pretty a rough estimate, but it's about a year. See, it starts in January and then it ends. So it's this current year basically, and it is at 3/12. But today is the 14th, so about a year worth. Can we go backwards? Yes. You slide this little bar down here, and you see how it moves. So it moves back. So you can move back in time as far as you want. On and on and on. You can go back in time. So that's not an issue. You can go back as far as you want. But overall, what you see in front of you is about a year worth of data. And then the second number is, in this case, every candle represents a day. So if you hover over, so keep your eyes right here. So if you hover here, it's 312, here 311, here 310, here 39, so forth and so on, all the way back. Okay. So now, what makes up a candle or a period of time? Everything about this candle represents four things. You have the open, the close, the high, the low. Four things. You got what price was it when it opened, or like when it started? What was the price when that period of time ended? How high did it swing throughout that period, and how low did it fall throughout that period? And all four of those points makes up every last one of these candles you see. Okay, and if I was to hover over one, let's keep your eyes up here on this high bar right here. You'll see on there, you see O for open, H for high, L for low, C for close, and on top of that, there's one that no other platform that I have found shows you, which I absolutely love, is R, range. And that is amazing. What that tells you is the R means the range of movement in that candle was, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 8 points, 6 points. Like it shows you overall the range of it movement was that many points. When I say points, I'm talking about from like 806 to 807, 808, 809, like a point, right? A dollar in price. And so I love it because you can just hover your cursor over and it shows you like, all right, in the last week, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 8 points. Like the SPY, as you see, moves very slow. 8 points, 6. You can on average say it moves about 8 points maybe over per day. So this is the day view, by the way. But that's what this bar is for. That's it. It's like this bar shows you the data when you hover over a candle. So that's it. So that's that part. Now, the other thing I want to point out to you is like what you see here is the current price. So the current price of SPY is 39406. It shows you the name of the stock or index. Everything about that information is here. And of course, you can change your symbol here if you want. So that's this top level. What's next I want to show you is you could tweak and customize the settings of your chart. So you click this little sprocket, and you can affect some things, right? And it will change everything about your charting. The one thing I normally change is the the price action. I think it's the price axis, no, the time axis. On the time axis, for more time, I normally like to expand the bars, maybe about 50 bars. And what this do, I don't see how it bumps up against the thing. I don't like that. So I'm gonna hit apply. Oh, that's too much. Go down, maybe 20, 10, maybe. Apply. There we go. And you see what that does? That gives me like padding. Like it doesn't bump against it. I have room now to have more. That's all. So I don't like it. I like to see the unknown as a space versus pushing against this wall. So That's all. That's all that does. Great feature. And then we'll come back to this. Now, let's talk about some controls. At the bottom, you can scroll left and right, of course, to go back in time. You're not limited on that. Remember what I told you, if you hold control and roll your mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out, which is great. I believe there's zoom in and out buttons down here. You can zoom in, get closer, move out. So take your eyes down here. There's a plus or minus down here. It does the same thing. You can also hit control plus or minus on your keyboard. Does the same thing. So you have a couple different ways of zooming in and out. You know, I like the mouse wheel too because my fingers are already on the mouse. So there's different ways. Now, you also want to be able to change your control at any given moment. And so I believe there's 2 or 3 ways to do it. One way to do it is press the middle mouse wheel. You'll get these little things where you can change your controls. Like, so the finger is good for like moving it around. So hit the finger and see, now I can at any point think of it as grabbing the chart and moving it around, right? So by left clicking, you see the finger with left clicking, I now say I kind of grab that the icon changed to a little grab hand, and now I can move it around like this, which is cool. And let's say I tighten in. So if I take the same left click on this price action and move up, and if you hover over the numbers and hold the left button and pull down, say it squeezes it, and then if you push upward, it stretches it out, right? See that? And see, then if you have the finger, same thing, the finger control, I can now left click and hold it and say I can move this up and down now, move it around. So it's just real nice to kind of get your chart wherever you want. Really powerful control to use. So that's really the main ones I use. And then so these two, then go to the arrow, you go here, of course, and you can use that crosshair. The crosshair is great because you can see where like lines, like see where things intersect. If you're trying to find like a support line or resistance, you can kind of, okay, these candles touch each other. These candles kind of touch each other right there. So that's probably the support and resistance for right now on the SPY. Like to me, if I was to draw a line right now, I'd probably put it like right here. They're touching. That's a new like resistance, and then support's probably something like right here. All right, so just getting used to drawing like support and resistance, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Matter of fact, I'll show you now. So the next tool I want to show you is middle button, and this one I love. So there's 3 I like to use. It's this one, and this is the last one. You can put text on here. You can do it any way you want. This is another one. So maybe it's this one. I like this one, these 4. Trend lines, I don't really draw those on this platform. And I don't use any of this stuff. None of this. All I use is these like 4 right here. So let's learn about price level. So I'm gonna click that. To me, this is the very, very important. So you get this little pencil. And remember this crosshair. So the way to understand how price moves and what patterns kind of repeat themselves is like price action kind of does this. That's all it does. It goes up, 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 and then eventually it breaks through and it does it up here or it does it down here. That's all it does. So you just gotta get good at like understanding what ranges a stock moves and then kind of make decisions based on that. So if I was to make price lines, let's just do some silly ones. If I pick my price level, watch what I do. If you click one time, it turns blue. Now it doesn't lock it until you click the second time. So you see how I'm still, I haven't clicked anything. I'm just moving my cursor around. You see how the line's kind of moving with me. So that's really cool. And then what you do is when you get it, you can get it where you want it. You click one more, you click one more time, and it will freeze. It'll lock it. See, I did one right there, and maybe do one right here. Yeah, to me, yeah, that's a good one. Let's do it. So I click once. You see how it's moving with me, and then I'm gonna lock it right there. See, to me, that's good support and resistance. So by the way, you might ain't learned support and resistance yet, but like resistance means that it's trying to bust through. It just can't bust through. It touches it a couple times, can't bust through. Support is like no matter how much it falls, it supports it and it bounces back up. So to me, these are 2 really good lines to kind of show support and resistance. So to me, price levels are great because they teach you how to do support and resistance, and they give you like price points on the screen. Now, when you do price levels, it's not going to look this way. By default, the software looks like, I'll show you. I'll put one right here. So to change the properties, you just get near it, right click, edit properties, and you get this screen right here. So the default looks nothing like mine. I've tweaked mine. If you press this button right here, it puts it back to factory default. So you click it, hit okie dokie, and then we click it. It will look. That's what it looks like. Like to me, this is awful. It's like a red line with no price or nothing. So I think that's awful. So to change it, you just tweak it the way you want it. So I put like a powder blue, and you can do anything you want. It don't matter. I want it to always show price on the right. This don't matter. This is the settings around it. I want it to extend all the way across. I want the line to go all the way across. As far as the eye can see, I want the line to go. So extend to the left and on the right. I don't worry about showing the show name is like whatever you put here will show it. So I don't care about that. I just let that be no show. And then blue. And I think that's all I change. And then you just hit this button, save as default. And that saves this as the new default. See? That's all I did. And so now going forward, if I click, I just click, one right there, let's do one right there. That's all it is. And like that quick, I put all these price lines. So it's really cool. And guess what? If you get tired of them, right click, you can say remove drawing, clear drawing set, and everything you've drawn up to this point will go away. Say yes, and it's gone. So that's it. So I don't know about you, but it's hard to tell levels by just looking at it, and like this doesn't really tell you anything. So that's why the price lines are matter. And what you do, you just try to kind of zoom out. Just kind of zoom out and just look at it and go, all right, what are some obvious levels that is hidden? And I'll go, okay, this is one. And then I would go, and you're trying to find like areas of support that's, where the most candles kind of touch. Yeah. Right? So maybe something like that, maybe. Maybe it's a good support and there's a lot of candles touching it. Yeah, it could go lower. Like maybe this is another one line, maybe. Maybe something like that. That's a range to look at. The other thing I want to show you is, let me clear the set, is changing the period of time. So remember I told you that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I told you that, and like these lines that shows like earnings reports, you can change that. You can just go in here and I think it's general like highlight. Let's see. Is it options? No. I don't remember the exact setting to turn some of it off. I'm not sure yet what that setting is. I'll have to find that one later. Yeah, I don't see the one to show. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason I don't see the one to hide these earnings. These are earnings. These are the earnings report. It's not a bad thing to have on your screen, by the way. This shows you like earnings are coming on the 19th. It looks like on Monday. I think these are the week. I think these shows the weeks here. But anyway, okay. I do like these bubbles. It shows like this is the highest in view right now. This is the highest it got out of all this data in view. But the next thing I do want to show you is this one right here. See what this is D? This is called the time frame. Remember how I told you that right now we're looking at a 1 year, 1 day chart? You don't have to look at that. You can change it to any time frame you want. So if I go here, click, these are some predefined favorites, and you can create more. If you come here, time frame, you can configure any one you want. Remember I told you it's time period and aggregation of time. You could pick whatever you want. But I mean, honestly, the only one I really use is the day view, the weekly view. I love the weekly view, right? The weekly view is very important. I can start the weekly view, the day view. Let's see if I can start some of these. How you mark it as a favorite? There you go. No, that's not it. So see the weekly view. So watch. So let's say I want to zoom in. So hold. Let's see. Change it to the arrow, and then I can click. So one way to zoom in is really cool. Is you hold the left click and then drag over. You drag over. See this little thing right here, and then we release the mouse. It zooms into just that area. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now you notice here we're looking at a 3-year, 1 week. So this is 3 years of data in front of us, and every candle is 1 week of data. So I really like this. This shows like in a week, this is how it moved. And then same thing, if we want to draw lines, we just right click, get the price level, and I would just get to work on creating levels on here. So I'm like, all right, that's an easy one. 2 weeks in a row, touch that level. And then support down here will be like, where do the most intersect? And I would say something like, yeah, those levels right there. And I'll zoom out a little bit. Let's see, zoom out. Yeah, you can tell that's the levels right now. That looks like the levels to me. That's a good level for this chart. And like this is what you work with. Like if you're doing trading decisions, you kind of just, it's going to be somewhere within this price. It's probably going to be a while before it cracks through that. And then it's done it twice, so it might do it again. It might do it again, but it's going to probably stay in between there, And then you zoom in, so then you can zoom in. All right. And the cool thing is too, this is the weekly view, but I can switch views and look at it a different way. I'd be like, all right, let me see my day view, and see I didn't lose anything. And look how the lines still kind of work out. Like if I zoom in, now you get a little bit more accurate kind of support and resistance. That's all it is. And let's say you want to put some text on it. So, right click and a little T for text. And then when you click, you get a box. Teaching. Charting. Oh, I'm sorry. Basic charting. 101. And that's it. There it is. And if you want to edit it, same thing, right click, edit, and same thing. Yeah. Red's fine, bigger size, whatever. By the way, I don't use this much. I don't really use, much. Turn it off, whatever. And it just, there it is. It's simple. Simple. If you want to delete it, right click, delete. It's called a drawing. I like to text more on these because I can go here and say, you know what, edit properties, and I'll call this one my resistance. You put whatever you want. And if you want to show it, just put show on the right. Done. And then here I'll say this is my support. Done. Oh, I ain't done yet. I gotta show on the right. That's done. That's it. That's all it is. If you want to make a different color, absolutely. You can click one on. Oh, sorry. That's my notes. I can change my tool to price level. Let's say I do another one. I don't know. Maybe like it's a backup level that might matter. Let me zoom out. I like to zoom out when it comes to levels. There you go. Zoom in. Maybe put on a weekly. Let's look at it. Make sure how it looks. Yeah, that works out too. Go here. And then like same here. That's like, we could say maybe next support. And then I'll make this one, green. Make it maybe look wide, make it a little wider. But that's all it is. And I definitely like to make them wider. I like wider. So that's really all it is, and that's that's price levels. And I like to hold control and roll my mouse wheel. Definitely when you're doing charting, you need a mouse. Use a mouse. Don't be on like a Mac and using a little touchy thing or on Windows. Like use your mouse that actually has a a mouse wheel on the mouse. If you don't have one, get you a good mouse. But that's really it. Like, you could get away if you did just this. You could be off to a great start in doing making decisions on your trades. And so the next thing I was going to show is maybe when you start doing day trading. So when it comes to charting too, you want to make sure that based on how long you're trying to do the trade determines what charts you should look at. So for example, if you want to hold something for a longer period of time, let's say several weeks, then your chart should be, you should first look at the weekly chart, right? The weekly chart. Look at overall how it moves, what's going on with it. And then you should drill down to maybe like the day chart. See how it moves that way. Okay? And we'll use the arrow, we can zoom in like so. Just like that. Now, if you're doing day trading, you should do what? You should look at the day chart, but also throughout the day, be looking at something closer like a 1 minute chart. Because this really gets down to the gritty of what's going on. When you get to the day chart, you see there's a lot of levels that are more precision, right? Let's look at like a 5 minute chart. Once again, this really shows how little the SPY moves, because like you see, it kind of stays in like this range, in a day. It doesn't move a lot, which is great. That's good to see that on a chart. But let's show you some of the equivalents. 'Cause that's really all I wanted to show you in this video. As far as I didn't want to get into indicators. I just really wanted to say like just basic chart one-on-one stuff. This is all you really need in Thinkorswim, and this alone will be plenty for you to make decisions on what you want to do even throughout the day, for months. That's it. That's all you can start with. This is it. Looking at this, making lines, making decisions. All right, and now let's do the equivalent in another website called, actually it's called tradingview.com. Great website. You can pay for it, but for what I do, I use it for free. Okay, and so when you come here, what you do is you go to the site. Same thing. You put a symbol in. SPY. That's a good one. And you get to draw a chart. How cool is this, right? And they have charting tools just like anybody else. They have technical analysis on your behalf. It tells you like if it's a strong buy, strong sell. I don't use this a whole lot. Like I said, I really just use it for the charting for the most part. And so to use the chart, you just put a symbol in, and then you click this button that says full. Oh, by the way, you could definitely log in with your Google. You can sign in with your Google. So you can do it if you want. I recommend it. It can store your settings, stuff like that. And then you also can, go. You put the ticker. Like I said, you put the ticker in. That's how I do. SPY. You see it comes up. You see the chart comes up. But I wouldn't use this one. I would click this button that says fully featured chart. Click that, and it brings you to like a different screen. And this is really nice right here. As you see, I've already drawn some lines on here. Let me delete them all. Delete them. So we can start over. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on here that I did on the other one. This is a great tool because you can open up just like a Chrome browser tab, and you can just start playing with stocks and looking at things without having to open up the fully advanced Thinkorswim. So I use this when I need something quick. I use this sometimes even if I got Thinkorswim open. I still would use this just to get some variety in my skills. But here's the cool thing. It has all the same stuff, right? This is an indicator down here, the RSI. I'm not going to remove it because I like it here, but just know this is an indicator. Don't worry about that yet. But the same thing. I'm looking. Every candle here represents what? Let's look at what it represents. You see up here at the very, very top. This shows you time intervals, and I got a couple in here that are marked as my favorites. I put a little star. You just click the little star. And so on here, I like to use the day or the week. I normally don't day trade with this tool. I use this for more higher view of things. So I use either the day, the week, and if I really wanted to, I might look at like a 1 year or 5 year, as well as time frames to add. But but yeah, for the most part, let's look at like a weekly view. So click on a week, and you see this little W showed up. That means every candle represents a week. And so just like on as the other tool, this right here represents the things I taught you before: the open, the high, the low, the close. And you notice it doesn't have an R. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And so every candle on here represents. Let me see, make it full screen. There we go. Every candle on here, and this is the full screen. If you press escape, this little expander is a full screen mode, which is nice. Okay, and so pressing escape will bring you back to the fully tooled thing. So for right now, I'm gonna leave it unfull screen so you can see all the tooling. So all the tooling you need is around it. And if I want to switch it out, you can just click on this symbol up here, and you could change it to whatever you want. I could say like SPX, or enter, and it switches it out. So that's the cool thing. Okay, but on this tool, just like the other tool, there is not a lot of tools I use for here. This is a quick and dirty, high level, see how things are looking. But remember, so keep your eyes over here and down here. So every time I move over, you see the same thing. You get a crosshair when you move your mouse. It's great for like seeing where things intersect, where your line. You can use your eyes and kind of look. Another thing I love is that same thing. You hold control and move your mouse wheel. It kind of moves things out, which is great for like drawing lines. And then you can zoom things in with your mouse wheel, which is really great. So that, when you zoom out, you can really kind of see lines like, in here, maybe like where are things kind of intersecting, right? Like the current price is there, which is a sweet spot. And so there are some, just like anything else though, if you zoom in I'm holding control, moving my mouse wheel, same thing. I think even you can still control plus zooms in, which I would use this way, by the way. On this particular software, I would recommend just hold control and move your mouse wheel, because it only does the chart. It doesn't do the entire browser. But with that being said, same thing. You can grab it by holding down left click. You can see I'm moving it around, so you can move it around. So the same thing. And so yeah, and so the crosshair is great because if you move it over the cursor. So keep your eyes right here. If you hover it over the candle, it shows you the open, the high, the low, the close. And if you need to know what the date is, the only thing I don't like, it doesn't show the date. You have to look down at the bottom to see the date. So you see how this is March 8th, and then this one's March 1st, and this one's February 22nd, and this one is February 16th. So you still got everything you need, right? Except from a range. I wish range was on this candle, but it's not. Same thing though, the price action is over here on the right. Same thing, you can hold the left mouse wheel and you can squeeze the price action, which I like. You can do that, right? So you can get more prices in front of you or away to drill out. Hold your mouse wheel, hold control and move your mouse wheel will zoom in and out the chart. And let's draw some lines. So I'm zooming out so I can draw lines. So I'm making it kind of tight. And watch what I do. Same thing, you got crosshairs. But guess what you do? You can come over here and all your tools are available on the left. And all you got to do is you look at the second one up here. It looks like a little dot with a slash and a dot. And then you see what says trend lines. So you kind of get your move the mouse to where you can click on this little thing right here. And then go down to horizontal line. And if you really, really pay attention, there is a shortcut key for the horizontal. There's one for the vertical. I don't really use crosshair, but I definitely use lots of horizontals, and vertical is great too. So I just put like a little star on it so it becomes my favorites. So favorites are like right here. And so if you want to do one, you just click the one you want. I'm gonna do a horizontal and say it creates a line. So what you do is you just find a line and click, and that's it. And then you want to do another one. And I'm trying to eyeball here, trying to find some levels. Yeah, let's see. These are. If I was a betting man, I would say the support's probably. Oh, I had to do another one. Click, click, and then you. So I clicked on this little button. See, I turned blue, horizontal line. Or if I do vertical, it does that. I can do like a vertical line. But I want to do a horizontal. Or you click over here. And then I'm going to, I definitely think this is probably the one to do. Click. And that's it. You're done. And the cool thing about it, if you want, I did customize it. See how thick it is. Oh, another thing too. Let's say you kind of got it wrong. Say you get these little, if you hover over, you get these little up down arrow. If you click and hold it, you can move it. See, you can move it up and down, which is nice. I still agree that it should be where I had it at, so I'm gonna leave it right there, right? The reason why mine look thick and stuff because I use the settings. So if you have it highlighted, hit the little sprocket. You can change the settings. So see what's his style, and line. See right down here thickness. You can change the thickness to whatever you want. Yeah, and then say OK, and they'll change it. And you can change. I think this is the settings right here. Just kind of change things. So yeah, I got it right there. Yeah, so you just change the thickness. You hit okie dokie, and it should. Let's see, settings. There we go. There we go. Change it. Once you draw it, this settings are stuck. You gotta fix it. There we go. And like I say, you can grab them, move it up and down. But like I said, I think the support is about right here. And you do all. The reason why you do all this is because when you create these lines, they highlight price right here. See, so now you have a price. Like this is the support. Support is 3724. You know, and then here you go. All right, the current resistance is 3943. So that's the way you kind of look at it, and that's kind of high. I'll probably tighten that up a little bit. It's probably like not realistic. This is a weekly view, so maybe something like that's probably better. Yeah, something like that. It's probably the levels to be aware of. As far as like high, low support resistance, and then the other thing too. I don't know if you noticed, but you can add text to these things. So you can right click, settings, text. You can say show text, and you can say support, strike price, or whatever. Okie dokie. And you see it's right there. Support strike price. And if you didn't want it right there, guess what? You can change that too. Alignment, center, I can say to the right. Or you can say on the bottom or on the top. I'm gonna say on the bottom. Boom. And of course you can zoom in on these things. Zoom in out. You can stretch this wider, separate them. Really get it. You can span things, around. So yeah, whatever you want to do. But that's all I really use this one for. Is just to get these levels, draw lines, I look at the numbers. If I need to move, it's easy to do. I can move it up and down, and then once I do that, you can make vertical lines too. Oh, the other thing too. Remember I told you the shortcuts you can use. So instead of me clicking this and then make another line and then clicking this and make another line. Trash can, by the way, deletes things. Instead of doing all that, guess what? The shortcut keys. So I can just put it where I want. Hit Alt H. It's a horizontal line. You just got to put it where you want it. So I want it there, then maybe there. And when you put it where you want, you take your hand off the mouse. Alt H. If you want to do a vertical, you just put it where you want it. So I say I'll put a vertical right here. Alt V. We'll do a vertical. See? And if you want to tweak the template of it, you just go settings, style, and you just change whatever you want. I want it a little thicker. Change the color or whatever. Blue, I like blue though. Blue's fine. And I'm gonna hit cancel because I don't want to mess it up. But like you find what you want, you just template and you just save as, and it whatever you want, and hit save. And then going forward, your lines will look like you want. You know. But that's it. I mean, that's really all I use TradingView for. Is the charting is amazing. It's fast, and yeah, you don't have to have nothing installed. You can just open up Chrome and put in a symbol and start drawing things and looking at things to make decisions. So I mean, really, honestly, that's all you really need. Day one to start looking at charts. Oh yeah, the other thing you can do too is if you want to share this with somebody, you just hit this little camera or hit Alt S, and it gives you a URL to give somebody. You can just copy the URL and put it somewhere, and somebody can see the chart that you just did. So that's kind of cool. I like that feature too. All right, and if you have any other questions, I'll probably do another video on indicators too at some point. But until then, happy trading.